Alright, hello everyone. Tobias here, playing another League After Midnight, as I am wont to do. This time I'm doing something a little bit different. I am taking a break from my grind with Hammer, and I am branching out into another deck that I currently own on Magic Online, which is a uh, very silly deck, I suppose I could call it, where I am playing an Obosh deck, and it happens to be Infect. And the reason that I ended up putting Obosh on the sideboard was that I realized the only even cost cards in my deck were Become Immense, which is a very powerful card, but there were just two copies. And I was like, if I cut the two copies, I could put Obosh on my sideboard. So that's how we ended up with Obosh. And the reason that I wanted to play specifically green-black Infect is the card Phyrexian Crusader, which is, that's not what I wanted. I want that one. Okay, I'm going to keep this off to the side here to remind me. And Phyrexian Crusader, I think, is very powerful because most of the commonly played removal spells in Modern are red or white, especially against 4-color Yorion, which I think is one of the better decks in the format. And against Murktide, they have blue creatures which can block it, which is really annoying. I think that match is pretty tough, but Crusader's just a house of a card. I'm going to keep this hand. I have the Ignoble Hierarch, as well as multiple Infect cards, two protection spells, and we'll win the game eventually, or die trying. That's usually how it works. So the plan here, the decision is, do I play the Ignoble or the Glistener on turn 1? I'm going to lead with the Ignoble, because it is my second green source, so it might be worth protecting more so than the Glistener Elf here. But, hello, Basic Mountain. Oh, we did it, but this was the exact reason I wanted to play the Ignoble on turn 1, because I could draw this guy on turn 2. And we have done it, and hopefully the opponent's just dead. That's the goal. Just, I hope they're dead. Well, they conceded. They were, in fact, literally dead. I don't know what's going on over there. They played a Basic Mountain and conceded the game. Okay, so all of my cards are odd mana values in the sideboard, and Thoughtseize is great, Dismember is pretty great, Viridian Corruptor could be useful, and I don't know if they're like a graveyard-based strategy. So cards that I had in the sideboard before included Leyline of the Void for graveyard strategies, but that card is even, and I didn't want to turn off my Obosh in the Murktide matchups, even though Leyline is very good against them. It's possible that Leyline of the Void is better than Relic in the Murktide matchups anyway. And then Viridian Corruptor is in here over Force of Vigor, which I just don't really own. I have like one copy, and I figured it wasn't worth playing. But I could be wrong about that. Other cards that this could be are like Nature's Claim or Natural State, as 1 mana ways to destroy artifacts, which also hit enchantments, but one that's really big is Chalice of the Void. That is a card that I'm concerned about, so I wanted a way that costs more than 1 mana to answer it, which if I want Obosh to be still a card, means exactly this card from memory. The other cards that I could consider are Boseiju, which I don't currently own, but I would play if I did. It's like 40 tickets, and I have, I think, like 12, so I'll work my way up to a Boseiju. There's not one over here. No Boseiju chillin'. And then Endurance, which also cost a lot of tickets. Was like 70 when I last checked. So my opponent playing Basic Mountain, I'm just kind of explaining the sideboard choices here, because with just Basic Mountain I don't have enough information to do much of anything. I'm just going to submit the deck again and see if my main deck is good enough to win on the draw, now that they know what I'm doing. Kind of. Okay, they are going to mull to 6. I have both of my basics in my hand. I only play 2 basics. I have 1 Glistener Elf and 1 to protect it, so what I could do here is fetch a tapped land on turn 1 and not play the Glistener Elf, and then turn 2 play Glistener Elf with Vines to protect. And if they're a Blood Moon deck, I've got both my basics under me. I think that's reasonable. We're a little slow. If I knew for sure they were a combo deck, I would throw the Glistener Elf onto the battlefield without hesitation. If I draw another 1-mana creature, I will deploy one of them immediately. But without that, I'm a little concerned that I will run out of creatures, so I'll do what I can to protect this. They have mulled to 5? Okay. They lead with the same basic mountain. Well, now that I've drawn this, I can play a forest. I was going to pull one of these out of my deck. I guess I can do so without much concern. I was going to play a tap anyway. I guess this saves me the most life. Alright, opponent, let's see what you're doing. If you play a Chalice of the Void, I will be extremely sad, and then I will bring in my Verdant Corruptors. Okay. I will play a... probably a Misty here. And this Elf. And then we'll have to hold up priority to protect it. Opponent says, stomp it. Oh, that's a good one, because it's good for me that they stomped it instead of a different removal spell. Because with this exchange, when the stomp fizzles, they can't cast the Bonecrusher Giant. Field of Ruin, that is a good card. They are a Blood Moon deck. So I guess I should have played a basic, because now I can only play one green card. Conveniently, I only have one green card, if you consider that convenient. Okay, so Blood Moon is a card that is extremely good against what I'm doing here, because I need a lot of non-basic lands for my strategy to work. Chandra Torch, okay, looks like we're just dead. Yeah, Rankar's back. Yeah, where were you last turn? Alright. Oh, wait. I can buy a Wash. No, I can buy a Wash! Fuck! I forgot about a Wash. It's literally right there. Okay. Alright, I even have mountains. It's okay. My entire plan was to deploy Obosh with 1 green mana open for Blossoming Defense. Whole time. That was the plan the whole time. The plan that I just made up right now. Okay. Ink. Give me this. Pass turn. Okay, they didn't want to play the Spyro, the Season Pyromancer, just yet. Alright, Mountain, they're not going to play. They're going to just hurt me. I guess now they'll play the Pyro? Sure. Discarding. A Field of Ruin and a Shatter Skull. Okay. And then a Ratchet Bomb? Well, good luck ratcheting up to 5. I guess I'll play... I don't think this Blood Moon's ever leaving the battlefield. There it is, my red card. Alright, I hope they cannot kill this, because it's my entire game plan. Unholy Heat. Creature... Are you serious? They have 4 cards in the graveyard, they have all 4 types? I have to protect from this? Yuck. Well, that's an unfortunate turn of events. Unless this resolves my Blossoming Defense. But it doesn't look like it's going to. That was a sorcery, right? Yeah, so... Okay, they added 2 mana. Kind of confused as to why they did that. Alright, well, this is my entire game plan. Somebody help. And I have the Rancor to give trample too. Man, good thing I added this Obosh to my deck. Stomp my face, okay. They cannot play that yet. I need to get this Ratchet, need to deal with this Ratchet Bomb though. Noble Hierarch's a good one. I'm gonna play this one so that I don't have to pay 2 life later. If somehow something changes. Alright, make this thing trample. Oh, they do have another Unholy Heat. I don't know why they didn't just use that last turn and put me on my misery a turn earlier. But, okay, their draw was extremely good. Especially on 5 cards. I cannot beat Blood Moon, so I think I have to bring in some number of Thoughtseizes. But Thoughtseizes isn't that great either. They're just like free win red prison deck that really requires me to have Besejus, which I don't own, which I've already said, but I'm still sad about it. Okay. That's the difference between a paper collection and a Moto collection. I do own enough copies of Beseju to support the decks I want to play in paper, and I really didn't want to just buy additional copies of them online. Financially, this is also like my backup deck since Hammer's my primary deck. But if I had a Beseju and had drawn it there, I would have been in much better shape. Given the fact that my hand was mostly lands anyway, I don't think I would have won that game, but I would have had an Inkmoth Nexus in play, and that would have been something. So, Crusader's like my best card, but also double black is extremely difficult with Blood Moon. Has to literally be 2 Ignoble Hierarchs. So, maybe I cut one of these? Maybe I bring in Thoughtseizes to try and interfere with Blood Moon for long enough? Maybe I just ship it and hope to win through a Blood Moon or before Blood Moon anyway? Which, honestly, the last game would have been a lot closer if they hadn't had 2 Unholy Heats. I think I'm just going to ship it and submit Plan A again. Since my sideboard cards are tailored for specific reasons. My goal on the play is to just kill them as dead as possible. But Thoughtseize was a card that I considered. This hand, I think I'm going to keep... Let's see. I think I'm going to lead on... Basic Forest for sure, because our Blood Moon deck. And then... Noble, because if they kill it, I'd rather have this. But if I play this, I have a chance to play Crusader on turn 2. Yeah, same plan as before. And if they have exactly a 2 damage burn spell, I can protect with Mutagenic. They always have the 3. Okay, well. Fetch another basic. Here I will play Mana Creature and Elf. And I'll pass. My turn. Just trying to get onto the board. Unfortunately, the fact that they are a Blood Moon deck. Dear God. Stop. Pitching on a Holy Heat, that means they have another removal spell in hand. I don't even know which one of these I want to survive. I guess I will try and save the Elf? Maybe? That is the one that has an effect on it. We'll see what happens. Field everyone. Well, amusingly, this is literally lethal. Let's see, are you dead? That was an extremely... that was an extremely funny thing that happened. That's, you know, the good old modern meta matchup of green-black Obosh Infect versus mono-red Blood Moon Prison. Yeah, that's a... If I go to MTG Goldfish, I'm sure I will find those decks on there somewhere. Maybe. That was definitely a roller coaster. It's so strange to me that my opponent pitched an Unholy Heat and then didn't play any cards. I don't know what the rest of their hand must have looked like. That the Unholy Heat was the worst card there? I don't know. And then my deck just top decking lethal in games 1 and 3. Well, apparently, Phyrexian Crusader on turn 2 was enough to be lethal. And then literally top decking lethal in game 3. It was funny. Okay, it's an 80 card Yorion deck. The only card that matters in this entire deck is Crusader. There is not a Crusader in this hand. I also only have one mana source. If this dies. Which, honestly, it probably will. I'm going to give it a shot because it's got a lot of gas. But I do hope to find a Crusader at some point. Alright. Hopefully I get to untap with this, play Glistener Elf, and hold up Blossoming Defense. Bloodstained Mire. Oh, a land. That's good. Now I can even attack if I want to. Don't think I'm going to, but... here's my elf. Let's see, if I put Rancor on the elf... Let's see, next turn... If my mana creature dies, then I'll only have 2 mana. So I guess I could put Rancor on the elf now. And then pass. The Bloodstained Mire is interesting. I definitely don't see that land in the usual Yorion decks, which means my opponent could also be doing some crazy shenanigans, which I would have no experience doing. The Wash deck that I'm playing right now, definitely not shenanigans. Opponent has unclaimed territory on Goblin. Excuse me? Yeah. Sting Scourger. I would prefer this to be in play. And hopefully nothing bad happens to me. Looks like nothing bad happened to me. Mutagenic is a good card. Scale Up does not stack with itself. If I cast 2 Scale Ups, it'll still be a 6/4 because it changes base power toughness. But I can come in for 11 here. I think they'll block because they can't pay the Echo anyway. And I think I'll hold on to the Mutagenic Growth to protect my thing. Because this is 7, 8, 9, in fact. Yeah. Okay. And then, fast turn. So if they have like a Munitions Expert or a 2 damage effect, I can save my creature. And if they have some other bounce spell, then I guess we'll play on. The game will continue. My opponent's deck is kind of sweet, actually. Goblin Warchief, okay. Him block. And then we go to my turn. That's good. I would like to represent lethal. And my opponent does concede. Okay. Really interested to know what other blue cards my opponent might have, or if it's mono red with Yorion as a splash. I'm legitimately unsure. So, Goblins does have an infinite combo in it. I might bring in some number of Dismembers and Thoughtseizes to interrupt that combo. But they're not all about the combo, so I do have to be concerned about just playing a normal game of Magic anyway. Phyrexian Crusader is pretty good against the deck that's mostly red, so I like that. I might just trim a couple cards. Rancor is extremely important. They don't have a ton of removal, so maybe I'll cut Vines. But Vines can actually interrupt their combo and give me an extra turn, which is interesting. So maybe I'll cut... but I guess, like, Dismembered. I'm literally bringing in Dismembered to do that, but Vines also pumps my thing. Maybe I'll cut, like, the 4th scale up, because they don't stack with each other. And then, like, a couple Vines. Or, like, 1 Vines on Mutagenic. Perhaps. And then just bring in 3 of these Dismember cards to interrupt their combo if they try and go for it. I suppose that's as good as anything that I can think of in the extremely well-researched Obosh Infect sideboard versus Goblins. Another extremely important meta matchup. Okay, this hand has 1 creature, and it has, let's see, they kept 7, sure. Has 1 creature, it has a way to protect through a 2 damage spell on turn 1, and it also has a way to protect through anything. So on turn 2, if I want to wait on my Glistener Elf. So I will give this one a keep. If my elf dies, then I have no creature, though. Green. Ooh, I like. It's a good card. It's in my deck, too. So they're going to have 2 mana. 3 mana. They could Munitions Expert my thing to death. But I don't think I can go slow. I don't think I can afford that. I'm going to fetch a basic forest because I have no idea if they have any sort of way to interact with my non-basic lands. Bluff Mutagenic Growth, even though I actually have it. Yep, name Goblin. Hope they don't have exactly 1 mana Goblin into Munitions Expert. Three mana, is it? It is a haste uncounterable guy. I hope they attack, because that way I can block Mutagenic Growth. The fact that I played it in the last game probably makes them very suspicious. Ooh, Scale Up is a good one. So I can Scale Up, Rancor, attack, and I think they have to block. Maybe I just Scale Up and attack? I'll give this one a shock, I think. Because I do need to cast Phyrexian Crusader eventually if I draw it. And then Scale Up Rancor is 8. And then they have to block, and Mutagenic Growth would make exactly 9 poison if they block. That's not 10. I could always Rancor, attack, and if they block I can Mutagenic Growth for life and hold up protection. That seems better. Well, that's the line I committed to. I didn't think too much about it. Okay, holding up protection. There's some argument to be made for throwing the Mutagenic down anyway for damage. But it's unclear to me whether I will need it to give +2/+2 at some point. Blued Crypt. And then I have a Vines in case they somehow assemble their combo this turn. 4 mana. This is Sling Gang. Probably. Sling Gang. Checks out. Aye, Captain. Please don't hurt me. +1/+1, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. Okay, I will take 12 damage. If I have to. Probably keeping a thing back to block. Interesting, the way that they chose to attack. Keeping this thing back to block. This thing is a good creature, whereas the tokens are just vanilla, so it's unclear to me whether that was... Well, thanks, Scale Up. It's unclear to me whether that was relevant or not, the way that they chose to do that. I guess I will make this 8. And then with Mutagenic, I have the ability to hold up Blossoming and go for lethal unless they have a free spell that I am not aware of, which is entirely possible. They must block. I would like to ouch myself. And I can take 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're dead. Okay. Infect, just win a game is real fast. It is about 1 in the morning, so I think I might just call it here, even though those matches were really fast, and then finish the league off at a later time and see how Infect does for me there. Against perhaps Murktide, I think, is the meta match that I'm the most afraid of, and Yorion is... It's a match that I'm always frustrated with, but if I can stick a Phyrexian Crusader onto the battlefield, then that is extremely good for me. They are hard-pressed to remove that card, so maybe we'll find the decks that I had actually planned on Phyrexian Crusader lining up against, but not to say that I'm upset with those matches. That was some very silly magic. And then I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.